15 years ago, just 2 days after delivering my daughter, a friend called with urgent advice. Register her for private schools now before it's too late. As I lay there on the hospital bed, still recovering from a 24-hour labor, a failed induction, and a cesarean, school registration was the last thing on my mind. But she was serious. Just register now, she said. You have years to decide. I felt conflicted. Even at that point, I knew that money would be a major consideration. We were building our careers, and private school costs serious money. It's not just the fees, the uniforms, excursions, camps, technology levies. Plus, there were all these socio-cultural and psychological factors to consider. So, how did we decide? Before I dive into that, let me say that moment launched years of agonizing over school choice, and I quickly learned I wasn't alone in that struggle. If you are feeling overwhelmed by school choices, drowning in brochures, or lying awake wondering if you're making the right decision for your child, this video is for you. In a few minutes, you'll have a clear framework for making a carefully thought through choice that aligns with your family's circumstances, goals, and values. After 15 years of parenting, extensive research, and countless conversations with parents globally, my daughter attended public school until year 6, then transitioned to private school, while my son has enjoyed public school throughout. This is due to the different learning requirements. I can tell you from rich experience, both systems have been excellent for our kids, and there's universally no right answer. Private schools, the reality. Let's start with private schools, the pros and cons based on what most private schools globally offer, though exceptions always exist. The advantages. Typically, they'll have more course options, better facilities, extensive extracurriculars. There's something to be said for beautifully maintained grounds and smaller class sizes. Private schools often excel at catering diverse talents, whether your child loves sports, arts, academics, or music. They typically maintain higher standards for uniforms and presentation. And yes, the networking potential is real. Those connections built in private schools can often open doors later in life. The downsides. Beyond the obvious cost, there's the psychological pressure. Over the years, many fellow parents have told me their children felt inadequate around their wealthier classmates or experienced condescending attitudes from some students. This isn't universal, but it's a reality to consider. The pressure to keep up with exclusive holiday experiences, cars, branded clothes and accessories can be overwhelming for middle-income families. Public schools, the reality. Now, public schools. Again, this is how most operate globally with variations with location and funding. The advantages. Minimal or no fees. Your main costs are uniforms, if applicable, books, and some excursions. Despite limited resources, many public schools work incredibly hard to provide diverse, balanced education. Because they are taxpayer funded, they must implement inclusivity laws and standards, often providing excellent support for students with varied learning abilities. The support my son has received has exceeded all our expectations. For my daughter, public school provided a solid foundation that prepared her brilliantly for the private school transition. The reality check. Quality varies dramatically by location. Some public schools have excellent reputations while others struggle. Many countries use catchment areas or enrollment zones, so families often move houses to access better schools. I personally know several families who've done this. Your child's experience can depend heavily on where you live or can afford to live. The decision framework that actually works. So, how do you decide? Here's my framework after years of experience. First, private school fees or family experiences. That $15,000 to $25,000 annual fee per child could fund music lessons, sports, coaching, family travel or tutoring, better education or mortgage payments? If you are torn between what you can afford and what you think your child deserves, you are not alone. Ask yourself, will the private school provide more value than these alternatives? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Second, know your child's learning style and needs. My son thrives in his public school's structured, diverse environment. My creative daughter flourished when she moved to a private school that offered specialized programs that she was passionate about. The school should complement your child's personality, not fight against it. Third, visit school during regular school hours, not just their open days. Observe how staff interact with students. Ask tough questions. How do you handle learning difficulties? What's your staff turnover rate? How do they prevent bullying? Fourth, consider your family capacity. Private schools may expect significant parent involvement, fundraising committees, events. Do you have the time and energy for that? Public schools typically require less but may need more home support for certain programs. Finally, trust your financial instincts. If private school fees stress your family finances, that stress affects everyone. A happy, financially stable family in a good public school beats a stressed family struggling to afford private education. Your action plan. Here's what to do next. List your family's non-negotiable values: academic excellence, creative freedom, inclusivity, sports programs, social opportunities. Use these as your filter. Visit schools with purpose. Don't be swayed by fancy facilities alone. Look for genuine care, experienced teachers, and programs that match your child's needs. You're not just choosing education, you're also choosing a community and creating future options for your child. The best school is the one where your child and your family can thrive. Stop comparing to other families. That friend who called about the private school registrations, her priorities were different to mine. That neighbor raving about the public school, their child isn't yours. If this helped cut through the overwhelm, please subscribe for more confident parenting content. Remember, there's no perfect choice, only the right choice for your family right now. Your child's needs will evolve, and that's okay. Until next time, trust your decision. You've got this, and I am here with you.